NTIA Administrator Larry Strickling, who we'll hear from a little bit later this morning, said, quote, "There are still too many people and too many anchor institutions lacking the level of broadband service needed to fully participate in the internet economy." And in fact, the data from the National Broadband Map shows that 2/3 of surveyed schools subscribe to speeds lower than 25 megabits. And in fact, only 4% of libraries have service greater than 25 megabits per second. So at a time when many schools, libraries, healthcare organizations need 100 megabits or higher, the fact that we have so many institutions at less than 25 megabits of capacity is extremely worrisome, to say the least. And the BIP and BTOP programs, as wonderful as they are not going to solve this problem on their own. By my count, the BTOP and BIP programs will help provide broadband connections to about 20% or so of the anchor institutions around the country, which of course means that another 80% of anchor institutions will still need to improve their broadband connections even after these programs are completed. Fortunately, policymakers do appear to be recognizing the needs of community anchor institutions, in fact, increasingly so. A few examples. The National Broadband Plan, issued by the FCC last year, specifically established in goal number 4 that every American community should have affordable access to at least 1 gigabit per second broadband service to anchor institutions. In fact, the FCC has already started to try to implement that goal in the E-rate program that they adopted late last year in trying to promote more fiber-based services to schools and libraries. And the current FCC program, which is currently underway to reform the Universal Service Fund, asks the question whether recipients of support in rural areas should be required to serve community anchor institutions. So these are all positive steps toward bringing greater bandwidth and affordable bandwidth to these critically important anchor institutions. And we're very fortunate that many of these policymakers are going to be with us today. I really appreciate their efforts to join us and to share their thoughts with us. And we'll have that chance to interact with them and carry this message forward. So we will hear from a panel of important congressional staffers at 11 o'clock this morning. For instance, for Senator John Kerry, for Senator Olympia Snowe, and for Congressman Henry Waxman, the ranking member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. In particular, I'd like to call out Senator Kerry and his office in particular because he took the lead 2 years ago in drafting the letter, and along with 5 of his colleagues, to NTIA, encouraging NTIA to change the rules of the BTOP program to be more friendly to community anchor institutions. I'm very, very excited afterwards to hear that we will hear from Congresswoman Doris Matsui, who has been one of the strongest champions of community anchor institutions in the House of Representatives. Our second keynote speaker will be the Honorable Larry Strickling, leader of NTIA, the architect of the BTOP program that has proven so beneficial to anchor institutions. And then at the end of the day, we'll be joined by Carol Mattey, who, as I mentioned, is overseeing the FCC's Universal Service Reform Project. She is the Deputy Chief of the FCC's Wireline Competition Bureau. So she will hopefully provide us some good advice about how anchor institutions can participate in that proceeding as well. So as you can see, it's a great day. It's a very exciting day for us, for the SHLB Coalition, for all of the work that you are all doing. I'd like to thank you once again for joining us. And please, as you listen to the program today, I have one last request. Think of what the SHLB Coalition can do for you. Because after all, we were formed about 2 years ago specifically for the purpose of advocating for your interests and promoting the needs of anchor institutions in these federal and state policy matters. So the SHLB Coalition was created to serve your needs, so we welcome your thoughts and advice about how we can best advance the goal, our shared goal, of affordable, high-capacity broadband to all anchor institutions across America. So thank you again for joining. I do want to make a special call out to some of our sponsors. We have many sponsors, but just to call out a few of them. Merit in Michigan, and Don Welch, we'll hear from him shortly, has been a great sponsor. The Benton Foundation is a sponsor of this event, as well as MCNC, the Research and Education Network in North Carolina. So we want to thank you all, and let's give our sponsors overall a round of applause.